What's my rule? In the first 4 grades, everyday mathematics uses function machines and tables of values to study functions. Function machines help students visualize how a rule associates each input value with an output value. A principal activity for developing this concept further is called What's My Rule? The objective of this lesson is we will be discussing addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division problems in which one quantity depends on another. So here's the first step. Before we even start, your math journal needs to be again well organized. The first column at the very top, what's my rule, followed by your name, date. The second row is the objective, which the objective that I just discussed. The third row, number and key vocabulary. That will take care of the column going down, so we could put numbers there. And the big box is going to be evidence of work. This will always be the most important part of anything, evidence of work. This is where we're going to show our work. I left this one blank just in case we need to make other notes, but normally the answer goes here. But really, we don't need to put the answer since we will be using the what's my rule box. Okay, let's get ready to go. For this what's my rule box, we're going to first start with the in column. We're going to be given a rule. In this rule, it's multiplied by 4. And then normally we're going to have many numbers. I'm going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to do 10. So the first step is to carefully analyze the rule. The rule here is times 4 multiplied by 4. Step 2. This rule only applies when the number is in the in column, and you need to figure out what number goes in the out column. So here's what we have, the in column. We need to solve for the out column. Every time we have a what's my rule box, it's always helpful to draw an arrow going from the in to the out. The in, of course, is the number 2, and the arrow in essence becomes the multiplication or the rule. So first step, 2. So in comes into the box. Here's my box. If 2 comes in and the rule is to multiply that 2 by 4, then 2 times 4 equals 8. I'm going to do it another way. Do it with squares. If we have 2 squares coming in and we need to and each square has 4 sides, how many sides come out? 8. I'm going to do this one again. If we have 2 squares coming in, and the rule is to count the number of sides, which a square has 4 sides, then we would come out with 8 sides. And here's how that helps us. So here's 2 squares. Here's 2 squares. Boom. There. Number of sides, 8. For 3 squares, 1, 2, 3. How many sides are there in 3 squares? 12. 4 squares. 4 squares. How many sides there? 4. Count them. 16. 5 squares coming in. Again, the rule remained the same. Times 4. And 10 squares. 10 squares. I'm actually going to do it on the side here. 10 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is pretty simple. You figure out what is in the inbox, and follow the rule, and you come out with 8. Now this rule only applies when the number's in the in column. We're going to go on to the next one. It's important that as you're solving these what's my rule boxes or function boxes, that you start identifying patterns in the numbers laid out. There could be, if you already know your multiplication and division facts, this will come easier. If you don't, this is very, very difficult. You're also going to be running into what's my rule boxes or rows, columns, where there's a lot of missing information and you don't have a rule. So the first thing you need to do again is now carefully analyze the in and out boxes and use that information or those patterns to solve the missing rule. After that, perform the function. So we need to study we need to study the in and the out columns and how they relate to each other. So first step, I don't want to focus. As soon as I see these big numbers, I immediately start getting confused because I'm not too familiar with multiplying with big numbers, and just big numbers in general just kind of confuse me. So I'm going to focus on the easy information, the information that I already know. So if I have 1 coming in the box in the what's in my rule pattern, I have 1 coming in and 3 coming out. Well, right now I have an option. It's either 1 plus 2 equals 3, but just remember that we're going to be working less and less with addition and subtraction, although you will find addition and subtraction in and out boxes. So that's one possibility, 1 plus 2. But let's see the next one. So what if I put 2 and then the rule is plus 2? Yeah, that doesn't add up. So let's go back to multiplication. So this can't be 1 plus 2. It has to be 1 times 3. So 1 times 3 equals 3. So now let's try that rule, see if it works. Now it needs to work with every single row here. Well, we don't know if it's going to work with those because they're missing numbers. So 1 times 3 equals 3. Good. That works there. Let's go now with 2. 2 times 3 equals 6. It's working there. As soon as we have 2 that it works for, we found our rule. But let's just go with the next ones. 3 times 3, yes, 9. Now we have these huge numbers. 200 times 3, we're like, whoa, what am I going to do? I can barely multiply these numbers. So all you have to do is, for the momentarily, cross these zeros out. Cross them out. Now multiply 2 times 3 equals 6. Now you can add the zeros again, but you need to do them to the other side as well. And there's your answer. Now the next one. Oh, by the way, let me put the rule in the box, or else I get everything wrong. Now, something times 3 equals 60. Again, if I'm going, now you're going to run into this problem when I'm going the opposite way. What is the opposite of multiplication? Division. Divided by 3. So again, we're going to take the 0 off in the meantime while we solve. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. Now add your 0. And lastly, 330. We're going again in the opposite direction, so we do the opposite. 30 divided by 3. Again, 3 divided by 3 equals 1. Now add that 0. There's your answer. I'm going to talk more in depth about solving for out when the number's in the out column. So the rule here is times 3, or multiplied by 3. Now remember, the rule, we follow the arrow, left to right. So here we're going to have 12, 15, and 18. I'm also going to do a 21, 33, and 24. Okay, so now the rule is times 3. So if I had my number in the n column, then I would need to multiply whatever is in that box times 3 to get 12. But I don't have it there. So now I need to do, since I'm going to be going the other way, the opposite direction. So to go the opposite direction, I also have to do the opposite function of that rule. In this case is divide by 3. So I get 12 divided by 3 equals 4. Here's 15 divided by 3 equals 5. 18 divided by 3 equals 6. 21 divided by 3 equals 7. 33 divided by 3 equals 11. And 24 divided by 3 equals 8. Again, it's very, very important to identify when the rule is in the out column and you need to go into the in and solve for that in column, then you need to do the opposite function of your rule. You're going the other way, so you need to do the opposite. Hope this helps. Okay, so the first one, it's add 30. That's the rule. Again, start by doing your arrow. Boom, there's my arrow. Put your rule there, plus 30. So 30 plus 30, 60. Easy, right? 30 goes in the box. Here's my box. Add 30 to that. That's the rule. Out comes 60. And so on and so on and so on and so on. The next one. This one gets really tricky because not only do we have to work with the out going the other way, but we also have a takeaway 80. Now that gets really confusing. Again, to always start with your arrow. Start with your arrow and then you'll know what to do. Okay, so if the number was in the in box, I would subtract 80. That is the rule. Subtract 80 when you're going from left to right. But we're not going from left to right, so we need to do the opposite. And the opposite of that rule is what? That's right. The opposite of take away 80 is to add 80. So now we're going to get, again, the same information. We're going to get this number and add 80 to it. And we'll get our answer. Now we have to think about every single other number that's below the 50 and think, what do we have to do? Again, just always follow the rules. The arrows are your friends. They will help you. Okay, here we have a situation where we have a number coming in, 49 coming in. Okay, we have that number 49 going in and 72 coming out. You're like, oh man, I have no clue what's going on. All I know is that 49, here's another strategy, went up and it became 72. So now it's a bigger number. That means that whatever comes in the inbox, this number is going to be bigger. You see it here. Here we have it again. 272. The out number went up to 295. Here we have one that's going backwards, 611, and I need to figure that number. I'm not even going to touch this number yet because I need to solve what the rule is. Now there are two problems here that can help me solve. And can you guess what they are? So yeah, it's the ones where I have the in and the out. I don't know what the rule is, so I need to figure it out. I need to study these numbers. Okay, I went from 49 to 272. How do I do that? There's two ways. I can either multiply or add. there's nothing that I can multiply by 49 to get to 72, and there's absolutely nothing I can multiply 272 to get to 295, at least in the basic multiplication facts. So it leaves me with addition. That means that from 49, this number went up all the way to 72. So I need to find out what the difference is there, which is so to find that, I can count up or subtract. 72 take away 49 equals, okay, 2 take away 9, can't do that, so I need to trade. This is going to be since I'm taking a 1 away from it, this becomes a 6, and this becomes my 12. Now 12 take away 9, that equals 3. 6 take away 4 equals 2. So my number is 23. Now what's that? That is a rule. So is it minus 23 or plus 23? Look at it. From 49 it went up to 72. So it's 23. Now I'm not exactly sure because this is like the only problem I've done. I have 2 problems to check it with. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the other number and make sure that it checks out. So next number is 272, and then I have 295. Let's see what that comes out to. Subtract 5 take away 2 equals 3. 9 take away 7 equals 2. There's that answer again. So what does this make it? What is this number? What's so important about that number? That is my rule. Plus 23 or at 23. This next problem is very, very tricky. So this one helps with measurement. So it's very, very important that you know measurement. And another one is knowing your multiplication facts. So there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So if I was to have, what that means is that if I was to have 1, so if I have my box, and now we have to be careful here because 12 inches is the big number, and then 1 is a small number. People could get awfully confused here. So now we got to look at the pattern here. We have, and the only number we can check it off with is this 3 here. Here's 3, and it went up to 36. But yet this number here is telling me something different. It's saying 12 inches to 1 foot. When we start running into word problems, we're gonna find out that words can trick us in math. So it's very, very, very important that we study the table, that we study the patterns, and that will help us. So if I put this is telling me is that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So if I had a foot here, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches, and that is equal to 1 foot. Now, my in and out box is here, the only one where I can check my work, but I'm using this information to help me as well, is that there's 3 and 36 comes out. So I'm going to keep on counting. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now I'm stopping here for a reason. I'm going to go again. So here's my 12, right? So that equals 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here's my other 12. That equals 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's my other 12, which equals 36. And that equals 3. So, you see a combination there? 3 feet, 36 inches come out. So that means that if I put, now going back to this rule, if I put 1 foot in, 12 inches come out. Now you need to solve the rest. This particular problem is pretty tricky. It's tricky. The first thing, again, you have to do is study the chart. Look for those easy answers. I've had many students where they'll go, oh, I see a pattern 17 and 8. So immediately they'll go 17, take away 8. Oh, I got my answer. It's 9. Well, of course, that's incorrect because it's 17 take away negative 8. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and solve that one. But again, you need to think about it. Where can I find an easy answer? You're like, well, I thought 17 and negative 8 was an easy answer. But you notice, look at the third column, 27 and 2. You don't see a negative attached to that. I would stay away from this one. But since we already started, let's go on to that one. So, the in box, you go into the in, and you put 17 in there. And out shoots out negative 8. Well, here we go. What the rule is, who knows? But we're about to find out. So here's, look at the bottom of the screen. Here's 17, and this is where we're going to start. Now we're going to go all the way to negative 8. Is this negative 8? No, because there is no negative sign there. So we need to keep on going. Oh, we just passed 0. Yes, there are numbers to the left of 0, except that if you notice, they go, when we count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Well, from on the left side of 0, it's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, etc. So, going back to our problem, we need to stop at negative 8. Where's negative 8? There. I'm going to keep on going. Here's negative 8 right there. So I need to go from 17, no negative on there, to negative 8. Negative 8. Now, so I'm going to take this one at a time. I cannot rush into this because, again, we haven't worked with negative numbers so much. So to get from 17 to negative 8, I need to pretty much hop over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17. Well, wouldn't it have been easier if I just said, if I go from 17 all the way to 0, how many steps have I gone? And I've gone 17 steps to the left, or I've subtracted 17, right? Okay, so let me keep going. 17, and I'm going to go 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So I just went a total of minus 25, negative 25. And that's how I get my answer. So the rule is take away 25 or negative 25, however you want to say it. Now you're at a 12. You're going to do the same function. Find your 12. Is it negative 12 or positive 12? Then jump back. How many? Negative 25. You have to do this for all of them. All right. Use the number line. Number lines are huge. And I hope this helps. Good luck.